Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. Hope you all had a lovely weekend. This morning, I'm going to talk a little bit about the biggest obstacle to your happiness, and it's around stress. And this might seem a little bit odd because stress isn't actually the obstacle. All right. Now, come Monday morning, we've had this nice, relaxing weekend, and it's like, oh my God, now I have to get back into the working week and all of that sort of stuff. And there's so many things in our lives that cause stress, and it's not unusual for us to assume that it is the stress that is stopping us from being happy. However, the actual killer to our happiness is the resistance we have to stress. All right, now hear me out here. Stress is a natural part of life. We're meant to, and it's when we're in danger, when something is happening, we're meant to go into that fight and flight mode, right? So that we can get ourselves to safety, and our body floods with all the hormones, the adrenaline, so that we can, and the blood goes to our extremities so we can run away or we can fight. Okay. That's actually a safety mechanism that we have inbuilt. So it is actually a natural part of our life. However, because today's stresses are not the same as they were back in, thousands of years ago, where our biggest stress was being eaten by a tiger, the stresses we have today are very different. So we're staying in that fight and flight mode longer than we need to, right? So it's not, the problem isn't the stress, the problem is that we are resisting the stress, and then we're trying to avoid it, or we're trying to do all these things to not have it in our life. And yes, that is a part of it. However, the belief that we shouldn't be stressed, or if we feel guilty about being stressed, or we're really, really trying hard not to be stressed, it is adding an extra layer of stress. Okay, can you see how this is like? Then we're on this hamster wheel. Okay, and we all know how annoying it is, and we know that we're stressed and we know what we're meant to do. How bloody annoying is it when somebody comes on and just says, oh, well, you just need to relax, and you need to do this, and you need to do that. Well, that just adds to the stress, doesn't it? Okay, so the problem isn't stress, it's the resistance we have to feeling stressed. And when we believe it's bad, or we try to avoid it, we're adding more tension. Okay, so that pressure to eliminate stress adds the stress. So I want you guys to start thinking about this a little bit differently, reframing how you see stress. Okay, and then the whole I'll be happy when trap, I'll be happy when I have no stress in my life. It just keeps pushing happiness further away, because stress is always going to be in your life. All right. Are you getting that? There's always going to be stress. People who thrive under pressure, it's not that they don't have less stress, they use it differently. Okay, have you ever stopped to consider that nerves and excitement feel the same in your body? They just have a different label, and that label causes us to feel differently about it. All right, so the way that we perceive stress can change how it affects us as well. So you can shift from feeling that overwhelmed to feeling energized by reframing how you see stress. Okay, so happiness isn't the absence of stress, it's the ability to move through it. All right? Happiness isn't the absence of stress, it's the ability to move through it. And when you stop fighting stress, you start flowing with it, you can unlock a whole new level of peace. Okay, so think of your nervous system, it's like a river. Instead of trying to dam the stress and block it and stop it, you just let it flow without that resistance. All right, so how do you do that? Great question. Here are some really simple, actionable steps that you can you can start to use in your daily life. Have a listen to them. Try one day, try one a different day. Keep trying them though. See what works, because in different moments, different things are going to help you feel better. Okay. So try a few of these things and try them consistently, because if you have gotten yourself into the pattern of really feeling the stress and building on the stress and compounding the stress, it's going to take you a beat to undo that pattern. Okay, so this is why you need to be a little bit consistent with this, and try it for a little while, not just once and think it doesn't work. All right, so here's a few little things that you can try. You can reframe stress as fuel. So instead of saying, I'm so stressed, try saying, my body is gearing up for something important. Okay? Nervous and excited feels the same in your body. When you say you're nervous, then it brings on a whole nother gamut of emotions and thoughts and memories and all that sort of thing. When you say you feel excited, it's a completely different picture that goes on. Okay? So, I'm so stressed, change it to, my body is gearing up for something important. It doesn't matter what that thing is that you're doing. It's the words that you say that changes how you feel in your body and the thoughts, and then it has that flow-on effect, all right? This is what we're trying to do here, okay? The event is the event. How you perceive the event is what you can change. That's what you've got control over. All right, the next one. It's a 2-minute let it be practice. So when stress hits, just sit with it for 2 minutes without trying to fix it. Just observe it. Okay. Now, this one might be a little bit harder for you to do, because when stuff's going on and you have that stress and there's often the time pressure that comes with it, to sit and do nothing for 2 minutes will sound a little bit counterintuitive. However, what that does, it reduces your resistance towards it, and it sort of calms everything down a little bit. Okay, so when you sit back and you're not trying to fix it, you're not judging it, you're just observing it. This is what's going on in my body. This is how I'm feeling. This is all. It's like sitting back and watching the cyclone. Okay, so if you can do that for 2 minutes, it's going to reduce that resistance that you have. It's also going to allow your brain to sort of just calm a little bit, and then you'll be able to see different options, different possibilities, different perspectives, okay? So that one might be a little bit harder to do. However, give it a go. You don't know. Maybe you're really good at that one, all right? You won't know until you try it. The next one, schedule in some fun, even when you're busy, okay? Stress is very good at convincing us that we don't have time for fun, all right? Which is not true. Book in, put it in your diary if you have to. So that means that it's like an appointment, and treat it like an appointment where you wouldn't just no-show on somebody else's appointment. Book it in, even if it's only 15 minutes, but it has to be guilt-free fun. All right. And do it every day. Come on. Everyone can afford 15 minutes of guilt-free fun every day. If that's really hard for you to do, start with 5 minutes and build your way up. But do it. All right. Do it. It's going to help you to retrain your brain to get you out of that same old, same old. Okay. Now, it can be anything at all. All it has to do is make you smile, make you feel good. So whether you're listening to some music, whether you are watching something that makes you laugh, maybe you are doodling, maybe you are going to grab a mandala and color that in, because you might enjoy doing that. It doesn't have to be something big or exciting or anything like that. It just has to be something where you are doing an activity where you feel good, you feel relaxed, you feel calm, you feel peaceful, okay, and you enjoy it. That's all it has to be. So there are so many things. What do you like to do? You could just, even if it was just going and sitting at the beach and staring at the ocean for 15 minutes, if that makes you feel good, then that's your activity. All right. There's no right and wrong. There are so many choices. And this is so individual, completely individual. All right. So 15 minutes if you can, start at 5 if you have to and work your way up. Guilt-free fun, something that makes you smile. All right. Do that every day. Schedule it in. And then the last one I want to give you is it's a little challenge for you all. Okay. It's a what's good about this challenge. So when a stressful moment happens, ask yourself, what is one possible positive outcome from this? Now, you may not see it right in that moment. You might need to just go and do that previous one where you sit back for 2 minutes and you don't try and fix it. But if you look at it from an outsider perspective, often we can see things that the other person can't see. So it's like when you're really stressed, we get into that emotional state, and whatever label you want to call it, your brain shuts down in the front. So in the front is where we make all of our strategic, logical, good decisions, okay? And this is our logical brain, thinking brain. When we're really stressed or emotional, all the lights in the front, they turn off, and all the lights in the back of the brain light up like a Christmas tree. So this is why they've looked at this under brain scans. This is why people will say things like, I'm so angry I can't even think straight, because you can't. Your brain has actually shut down in the front. So, and this is why when, if you're speaking to a girlfriend and, they're right in the middle of something and they're talking about how everything's not going well and she's so emotional and she cannot see a solution, because she's right in it. And you, being an outside observer, go, oh, well, why don't you just do ABC? And she'll go, oh, I didn't even think of that, because she couldn't, okay? So this is what happens to you in those same situations. You cannot think, you cannot see the forest for the trees because of what your brain is doing. So this is where that other one where I was saying, take that 2 minutes out to just sort of sit back and try and be that observer, because that will allow the lights to switch off here and on here. Okay. And this one here, the whole what's good about this challenge, in the moment, you may not be able to see that. However, you can try and step out of it. Okay. You can try and step out of it and see what is one possible positive outcome from this. And even if you don't think it will actually happen, it doesn't matter. What you're doing is you're training your brain to find the good things. It's training your brain to look in a different direction. Okay. So if you had, if you had an accident in your car, okay, that's not really great. You're stressed, everything's going on. You know what it's like if you have an accident in your car. In that moment, what's one possible positive outcome from this? Well, I don't know, maybe you get to get that little bump fixed, plus you get a shiny brand new something else on your car. I don't know. It's hard to think up random things on the spot. But this is something, don't judge this one, okay? When you're in that moment, see if you can just get yourself to look at, okay, well, what's the silver lining? What's something that could be positive out of this? All you're doing is trying to get your brain to not look at all the doomsday stuff, but start to turn and look in a different direction. That is what you're trying to do there, okay? So this is why I'm saying it may take you a few beats. It may not happen in that moment. It may be something that you do in hindsight, because that's also a really good thing. If you can't do it in the moment, do it in hindsight. Okay. I actually, just talking about the car accident thing, that happened to me. This was a little while ago, and in that moment, no, there wasn't anything great, because it was a new car and my shiny car was all banged up. However, actually made a new friend out of that, which is something that I didn't think was going to happen. All right. So, this is all about just changing your way of thinking, moving your perspective to see things differently. Okay. All right. So, I am going to wrap it up here. So, remember, happiness isn't about eliminating stress. You're not going to be able to eliminate stress from your life. Okay, it happens. You want to have an element of stress there, because just think of that fight and flight. Think of stress as the whole fight and flight response. You want to be able to react if you're in danger. Okay, so there's always going to be an element of stress in your life. This is about changing your relationship with it. And once you do, stress loses its power over you. Okay? You're the one that controls it, and you're the one that can use it to your advantage in those times when you're not physically in danger. All right. So, my quote for today is from a guy called Steve Maraboli. And Steve says, "Happiness is not the absence of problems, it's the ability to deal with them." Okay, your perception is everything, and you are the one in control of your perception, which is awesome news. Okay, so have an amazing day. Remember, happiness isn't about avoiding stress, it's about learning how to move through it. So I hope you picked something up from this. Let me know what resonated with you, what didn't. It's okay. We don't all agree on the same things. You're very welcome to share below the things that you do to help you move through that stress, because that might help somebody else as well. And let's all, work towards shifting stress into something that works for us and not against us. All right, everyone, have an amazing day, and I will see you again on Wednesday. I'm going to be talking about stress and your bank balance. All right, have a great day. I'll talk to you all soon. Bye-bye.